my studio. It's been a minute since I've been on for a while. Have been experiencing some health issues and just have not been in my studio much at all. But I have had these 5 journals complete for a while and thought I would come on and do a journal share and share the listings for this. And these were created from some kits that I actually put in my shop, and I pulled the kits, decided to not sell them as a kit but as a completed journal, and I'll probably continue to do that a little long until I get all those kits worked up. So I have 5 journals here. All of these are softcover journals. They are 6 by 6 and they each have 3 signatures. Now they all have sort of different amounts of paper in them because I just kind of created them, you know, playing around, so I didn't really, you know, specifically, you know, create them to be exact. So I think we'll start with Minette the Milliner, and each of these journals has a story. And so you'll be able to go to the listing link to read their stories. I am not going to do their stories here. I'm just going to come in and show you the actual journal. Whoops, sorry. I have to manually do this. I don't know what happened to my remote, so I have to kind of reach up there and get. So this one is primarily purple and cream and green. The outside of it is wallpaper, a vinyl wallpaper that's got some pretty soft colored vines on it. This is a Minette is a hat maker. She's a milliner. And so this is a vintage tag actually from an old hat. Let me widen that just a teensy tad. And there are some dyed fabrics, handmade paper, just all kinds of little, some old lace and things that cover, you know, make up the cover. Plus this is Minette's picture. And it's just got a sari silk closure on it. This particular one has 156 front and back pages to journal on. And I just got one of the paperclip beads tied in the ribbon. Of course I would do that. Let's see if we can get through this without making a mess. Okay, put those back on there. Okay, so here is the journal. And like I said, this is a 6 by 6. There are some vintage images from an old Victorian catalog in here with some, this is a little flip up that you could journal on. There's a little cluster there. You can see these ladies with their fashionable hats, some coffee dyed paper, some ivory paper. This is more of that old vintage catalog, and I've backed it with no, I guess I didn't back that. I thought I did back it. Some of the purple paper, some floral, some more coffee dye, a little tag, and you can see the beaded clip here. It has glass beads on it. These are all glass pearls and glass beads. The little tag is just, let's see if we can get it off there. It's got a little cluster. It's just plain on the back. And it is reinforced, so it's good and sturdy. There's some of the green paper. More coffee dye, more cream and purple, and some green cardstock. And you're going to see that very same thing as you flip through here. So let's just go to the next signature. Another little cluster, and these are all set up basically the same, and these are not heavily decorated. There's some vintage sheet music, and because these are primarily writing journals, here's another little tag in there. And you can add things as you want to add them to the journal, but these are primarily for writing. And I will, which I didn't think of it till just now, I will go ahead and put in a little dashboard for writing. And a dashboard is, I usually make them out of a very sturdy cardboard or book board, and I cover it and you can slip it in between the pages, and that way when you write you don't have any of this lumpy, bumpy stuff. So I will include one of those. I need to go back and make those. I didn't even think about it. So here we are almost to the center of the second signature. And oh, I don't know if I said, these are a tied spine, so this can be refilled. If you use the pages and wanted to, you could refill it. This is a little fold out here. Folds out this way, and then inside there are 4 little tags that you can journal on. So there's some tags in there. And then that goes into the center section. I'm skipping over the back section because this is the same paper you just looked through, and I'm going to the next signature. So here we are in the next one. And like I said, it's kind of just the same layout and setup all the way through, just different papers. Here's another tag and another paper clip, another beaded clip. And more paper, and I'm not sure what we get when we get to the center of this one. But like I said, these are not heavily decorated. And then here in the back you have one of the little fashion ladies, and the inside of this is decorated with a part of a McCall's magazine from 1914, and it's kind of a dressmaker page. If you kind of look under there, you can kind of see some of the things that it's talking about being a dressmaker, about charmeuse and double length and selvages, and this is for making some type of garment. Actually, I think it's a girdle is what it says. So this is Manette the Milliner. Then we have the Old Chateau. Let's pull that one in. Now this one, I didn't do a rounded spine. I went ahead and did a regular spine with sewn in signatures. This has glass beads and pearls on the edge. Vintage lace. It also has the vinyl wallpaper cover, so it's wipeable. Here is a definition of a chateau, a castle, or a country manor. And this is Fayette, the girl who lives in the chateau when she is grown up. And so, like I said, there is a story about her. You can read it in the listing description on my Etsy shop. And here is her book. This one has 120 front and back pages in it. So here we have in the front a little envelope that you can store things, and it is also glued as a pocket with some little just folded stamped pieces that you can write on. I will be including the story with all of these, so the story I will print it out and include it. And then here's just a stamped topiary tree and a little stamped tulip. Some French book page. A little Paris paper. This one has quite a bit of stamping in it, which I'm not sure why I didn't stamp in that purple one. I don't know. This is a tag. The little pocket there. And I'll go ahead and go through this whole first signature so you can kind of get a feel for it, and then the rest of them I'll just do the first half because it's kind of a, you know, a repeat. But you can see that it has the green stamping throughout. Okay, and then this is the beginning of the second signature with some more of the Paris paper. more stamping, some ivory paper, a little sort of a picture that was kind of reminded me of a chateau, some sheet music, and somewhere on the other side of this, I will flip to that, it does say the old chateau on it. There's a little song that goes with that. Some parchment paper. Here we've got a hand beaded paper clip, and clipped to that is a little matchbook flip that you can journal inside. So you've got that. Let's put that back on there. And let me find the other side of that sheet music so I can show you. See, it says the old chateau. So, and then let's skip to the back one, because like I said again, this is for writing, so there's not a lot of heavy decoration in these. They're just primarily paper. Some more of the French book page. We get to the center of this one and flip over here, and we've got a pocket that has a tag. And the pocket is also a tuck spot. So behind that is some more of the stamped writing paper. Oops. Scooting that all over the place. There we go. And then in the very back there is a pocket, and inside the pocket is a little book with just some coffee dyed lined papers in it. So that is the old chateau, and the inside of it is covered with vintage French lesson book pages. So that is that one. Now we're going to move on to the Garden Club. This is the Garden Club. It has 140 front and back pages. It's got also the vinyl paper, vinyl wallpaper. It's got some vintage lace, vintage mother of pearl buttons, some fabrics. This is from the 1920s, these fabrics are. And this is from a really old 1920s book of roses. And these are the members of the Garden Club. They are judging a rose contest. So that story that's linked with this one will be in the description on the Etsy listing. And this says, cultivate kindness. I can't think of a better thing to grow, especially in today's world, than kindness. This is tied with some green seam binding with double ties, so you get a nice juicy bow there. And let's go inside. And on the inside you have some collage from the Vintage Rose book. This is a pocket that you could put something in. And then we have a fold down for journaling there. That just tucks right in there. Some pretty papers. Some stenciling. This one has stenciling. This too is a pocket, and I thought I did tags for this one, and they may not be over here. But this is a pocket with some more of that old lace and vintage 1920s fabric. And some coffee dyed paper, some, I think this might be dyed with the, I don't know if it's food coloring or Easter egg dye, I can't remember. Some more stenciling. This is a piece of vintage sheet music. It says the Red Rose. Some pretty pink paper, more stenciling. Coffee dye, more dyed papers. We get to the middle of this one, and it's got, this is a paper clip pocket, so you can move it wherever you want to. It has a cute little tag that matches, that goes in there, so that can move and be a bookmark or whatever in the book. Here we go back through this one, and there's the other half of that vintage sheet music. Some more of the dyed papers and stenciling. And that pretty much gets us to the second signature. We're going to kind of have more of the same because, like I said, this is for writing, not for really, you know, put a few little things in here. I'll go to the middle of this one, and then we'll skip. This is another old dictionary page. And in the middle of this one, you also have this little piece, and it folds out. And in it, you have some little collage tags. And for writing on, that kind of match this. And this one also is a tie bonding, so you can refill it. So I'm going to skip through those and go, well, no, there's another page. I didn't realize there was something on that page. This has a tuck behind it, and it is a pocket with another collage tag and some more of the collage of the Vintage Rose book. Okay, I'm trying to kind of thumb through. This is the last signature. It also has another pocket here. It's got the dyed papers and stenciling. Some more. This is from a Vintage Rose book, a book on varieties of roses. And I think there's the center signature of that one. Okay. Here is another clip-on pocket that you can move around the book, and it too has a little tag in it. So there's that. And then I think we kind of skip back to the back because most of this is just the same stenciling and things. There's more collaging, another pocket here, and then also the same little flip that was in the front. So you have that for journaling. So this is the Garden Club. And next we have Spring. This is Spring, and I love this little photo. This is also a tie bonding. It's got baker's twine, lots of cute little glass beads on it, a hand-tinted photo on the front with butterflies and flowers. And I will tell you, this little guy, his name is Patrick Sturbert Patrick Schmirke. Say that 10 times fast. And he's 22 months old in this picture. So I imagined his story, and his story can be found also in the Etsy listing. But he is visiting grandmother and standing in grandmother's garden. I'll give you that much of the story. Also with a pale green and pink and yellow tones in this one. This is more of the vinyl wallpaper. This one has, I don't know if I said it or not, I'll tell you, 144 front and back pages, and vintage fabric, vintage little buttons, just, you know, a variety of little collage pieces to make up his cover. On the inside, there is a pocket with a tag in it. There. We've got some pink paper, we've got some dyed paper, some stenciled butterflies in this one, and some stenciled flower vines to go along with it. Scrapbook paper, dyed paper, some more of this old ivory paper, more, I think this is almost like a craft card. It's like thicker, a little thicker. Dyed paper, stenciling, vintage dictionary, more stenciling. Now this one has a little booklet in the middle of it. This booklet is removable. Here's the front, oops, and here's the back, and it is filled with just a variety of little papers. And so that is the booklet that I just kind of secured in the middle. More butterflies, dictionary page, just lots of stenciling and pretty little pink and green and ivory and a little touches of yellow for the papers. that gets us to the end of the first one. Here's the second signature, and you can see there's just more of the same until we get to some of the things. I'm not sure exactly what's in here. Some more vintage sheet music, and this song is entitled Spring. Some vintage wallpaper with some roses on it. Then here we have another little booklet that's in here. This one ties shut, so we can untie it and open it. And when we open it, there are little pockets in here on the sides that you can store things in. So that is that one. Finish tying that back later. More of kind of the same. I'm kind of flipping fast because it just gets too long if I don't kind of flip through. Let's go to the next signature. Let's see, where does that one begin? Here. And we'll find the next little goodie in here because they're basically all set up just the same. Okay, this one in the center has this little envelope pocket. It's got some cute little tags in it behind, like this. Then this opens up, and this opens up, and this opens up, and it is an envelope for you to secure and store things in. So that's that. And then we're going to skip on to the back. And at the back there is, there is a little hand beaded paper clip with a flower. And inside that is a little flip out for journaling. Or you could glue this and make it an envelope, but I usually leave them open for whoever gets that. They might want to make it an envelope, or they may just want to journal. So I usually just kind of leave that up to the person who's getting it. And this just has pink paper covering the back and the front. And I just unpin that again. So that is spring. And lastly I have, this is one of my favorites, Aunt Mert. This is Aunt Mert. By day, Aunt Mert is a school teacher, and at night she's a flapper. So love her story. So you can again read her story over on the Etsy listing. Aunt Mert has 108 front and back pages, a total through there. This is Aunt Mert. You can even see where it's kind of, well, I guess I glued the flower over it. It was written on the front of the picture, Aunt Mert. So that's where she gets her name. This is a vintage flower off of an old hat. Some vintage fabric, again from the 1920s. Some old, this is some really old French lace. And some, just some dyed lace. Again, this is the vinyl wallpaper. Sorry silk closure, some vintage mother of pearl buttons. And let's take a look at Aunt Mert. I can get her open. Okay, so in the front we have this collage pocket, and we have some inspiration from the 20s with some flapper style clothing on the tag, and hats and shoes that kind of mimic that era. Tried to do some sort of deco sort of stamping. Used some of the fabric for tabs. Parchment paper, ivory paper. Looks like that's a lot of what's in here. I don't know if I put any dyed paper in this. This is a little, I wanted to say cellophane, that's not the word. Anyway, it's a little bag that I sewed in there. Inside this one, you can see it's got some little 20s shoes on the front. This is a little flippy pad with some little papers in it. Glassine was the word I was looking for. And then this side has a tag with one of the hats. And Aunt Mert's a seamstress. She makes her flapper clothes. So here we have got another, just a little journal paper stuck in a little pocket there. Now this one I did a little different. These signatures are actually sewn and then they're just tied in, but if you're done, these can be removed and refilled. So, and then here's a pocket with a little tag and some more 20s inspired hats. This one's around 1924. Some more of the, not exactly deco, but you know, I tried, that was the best I could do with a deco stamp because I don't really have any. So, but just sort of that ornateness of the era, not error. A little chandelier stamp. And we're into another signature here. You can see more stamping and fabric tabs. I thought this would probably be Aunt Mert's school dress during the day. Very staid print, you know, the lace collar, all that. But then at night, that's when Aunt Mert gets wild. And so here is more of the same of the pages. Here we have another little fold out in the middle. You can see it's got some of the fashions of the 20s. Dictionary page. This folds out and, ooh, I didn't finish these tags. These are supposed to have the girls with the hats on them and some ribbon. I will definitely get that done. Sorry about that. I thought that book was finished. And so more of the kind of faded out stamping with the gold. And here is the last signature. And I'm not sure what's kind of different. I'm kind of just, you know, flipping through quickly. Here is some Dancing is the name of this music. Here is another little collage, a little tag on there to go in that pocket. Some of the fabric from Aunt Mert's day dress, or what I imagine her day dress would be. We're going to just flip onto the back, and here at the back we have some more of the 20s flapper style fashion, and this is also a little flip pad with paper in it. Excuse me. This is covered with vintage, something from a vintage catalog. I'm not sure. What was this? I guess that was a Rose catalog. I should have used fashion paper. I wonder why I didn't use fashion paper in there. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. So that is Aunt Mert. So we have Aunt Mert, we have Spring, let me widen back out. We have the Garden Club, the Old Chateau, and Minette the Milliner. I hope you've enjoyed these. If you're interested, the link is down below in the description. And hopefully I'll be back and up and running to get some more fun tutorials up soon. And I hope to see you around the studio. Thanks for joining me.